Okay, let's take a step back in time, way back to 1914. But I want you to forget the grand strategies and the big battlefield maps you always see in the history books. For this explainer, we're going to see the start of the Great War through the eyes of one young man. He's really a stand-in for millions of others, and his entire world is about to be turned completely upside down. And I mean, just look at that number, millions. It's almost impossible to really wrap your head around it. Millions of soldiers mobilized from all across the globe, all pulled into a conflict on a scale that, well, humanity had just never seen before. But inside that massive statistic, there's an individual story, and that's the one we're going to follow. So that story starts right here. We're going to trace that journey from the very moment a civilian decides to leave their old life behind, taking those first fateful steps toward becoming a soldier in the Great War. And yeah, while the scale of this war was just massive, our focus here is on the human experience. We're going to dive into the lives, the incredible struggles, and honestly, the amazing resilience of the men who found themselves right on the front lines of what was a global catastrophe.
It all kicked off with the call to arms. All across different nations, young men, a lot of them barely out of their teens, were just rushing to enlist. You could almost feel this sense of duty and excitement in the air.
I mean, the promises they were being made were just intoxicating. Think about it. Recruitment posters were plastered on every street corner, talking about honor and glory and adventure. If you're a young guy working on a farm or in a factory, this felt like a ticket to a whole new world, a real chance to be a part of history. But here's the thing you really have to grasp. For all that talk of glory, almost no one, and I mean no one, truly understood what they were signing up for. The brutal, mechanized reality of this war was a secret that was yet to be revealed. They were marching toward a completely unknown future, fueled by patriotism and promises. And that march? It began at the train station. This is the place where all that patriotic excitement slams right into the painful, personal reality of saying goodbye. Just try to picture the scene. The platforms are overflowing with families, the air is thick with steam from the trains, and just the buzz of 1,000 conversations. And in these huge crowds, you see these quiet, just heartbreaking moments. Can you imagine? For so many of these women, this would be the very last time they would ever hold their sons. It's a final embrace, happening again and again on platforms all across the continent. And of course, it wasn't just mothers and sons. It was wives, sweethearts, brothers, sisters. Promises were being exchanged, hands were held until the absolute last second, right as the train started to pull away from the station, and away from life as they knew it. The atmosphere on those trains must have been such a wild mix of emotions. On one hand, you've got this loud, boisterous pride in serving your country, this shared hope that it'll all be over soon. But just under the surface, there had to be this deep, unspoken fear of the unknown journey that was just getting started. And once they arrived, forget those emotional goodbyes. They were immediately replaced by the harsh, disciplined world of the training camps. This is where the real transformation from civilian to soldier began. The curriculum, if you want to call it that, was simple and it was brutal. March until you could barely stand. Then march some more. Learn to shoot your rifle until it felt like it was just an extension of your arm. Practice bayonet charges against these straw-stuffed dummies. The days were just punishingly long and exhausting, and they were designed to strip away your old identity and build a new one. But something really powerful grew out of all that shared hardship: camaraderie. Men from totally different walks of life were suddenly forged into a brotherhood. And this wasn't just a nice to have. This bond was absolutely essential for survival. It was pretty much the only thing they could truly rely on in the chaos that was about to come. So they learned to march, to shoot, and to rely on one another. Their brotherhood was forged in the fire of that training. But the question that's just hanging in the air, the one they couldn't possibly answer yet, was this. Could any of it, the drills, the discipline, the bonds, could any of it ever truly prepare them for the hell that was waiting for them in the trenches?